Baseball season is here at last, and the excitement continues all season long at DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Why wait until the end of the season to claim victory when you can win huge cash every day? Hurry to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code AROUND to play for free. You could win part of the $300 million in prizes being awarded this season. Enter AROUND for free entry now at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Welcome back around. Washington, D.C. on assignment. Ooh, nostalgia.
Oh, what is that?
Don't you guys miss nostalgia? It's not like it used to be, isn't it? Let's go around the horn.
To me.
It's the first word.
Foles for Bradford. Nothing you say will get more points than the Philly Daily News. This helps how? McCoy gone, Macklin gone, Cole gone, Foles gone, Walt Thurman, duck, in. Ryan Matthews, Mr. Matthews, in.
Y'all ain't reserved yet.
Chip Kelly, in a doozy of a press conference today, said, one, this morning a team offered him a first-round pick for Sam Bradford, and B, Mariota is not in play for them. Plashke, what do you make of both of those statements and everything else?
You know, everybody's going to rip me for this, but I'm sorry. Every NFL successful team, the coach has to have a clear philosophy and follow that philosophy. This is what Chip Kelly's doing. Right or wrong, we'll find out. It's too early to tell. And Sam Bradford, I'm saying you're going to laugh. You say, oh, first-round draft pick for him. In 2013, the last time he was on the field, it seemed like a light came on. 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 91 passer rating, and then obviously...
That may be true, Bill, but 2013, when Nick Foles was healthy, what were his numbers?
Obviously, Chip Kelly feels that Bradford's ceiling is higher than Nick Foles. And right now, who's to say it's not? I'm just saying I admire the guy for going all in on what he believes.
Okay.
I think it's too early to say.
But Foles' numbers in 2013 were better than Bradford's numbers in 2013.
Right. I'm talking about ceiling. Not the present, the ceiling. Bradford could be a great quarterback.
I don't know. Since that light came on for Sam Bradford, he's torn his ACL and then re-tore it, and he's missed a season and a half. Well, you're right, Tony. Nick Foles went from a guy we hadn't heard of to the Pro Bowl to a guy the Eagles didn't want anymore and preferred Sanchez. We really can't get the only thing I agree with on Chip Kelly is his acknowledgement that they're not really in play for Mariota. I don't see how you get from the 20th pick and move up. But the shocking thing yesterday was that Bradford trade, they were the ones giving up draft picks. They're the ones who gave the Rams a 2. When I first heard the deal, I assumed to trade Foles, they were the ones getting picks to take the damaged goods that is Sam Bradford, and that didn't happen.
Well, Monty, this helps how?
I don't know. I don't know why you're looking at me. They traded 2 quarters for 5 rusty dimes, and then Chip Kelly got in the press conference today and tried to tell us that somebody wanted to give him $1 for those same 5 rusty dimes that are Sam Bradford. You must be kidding me. He has not averaged 7 yards in attempts for a season in his entire career. Going back to college, 4 of the last 6 seasons for Sam Bradford had ended in injury, and now you're going to throw him out there in the whirling dervish of the Chip Kelly offense? I have no idea how this works. The one thing I can say is Bill say that this goes according to a philosophy. This goes according to a plan he's got. Chip really seems to believe that you don't need very good players to make this plan work. We've seen enough from Sam Bradford to know that he might be okay, but he will never be great. And this is what you're putting $13 million this year on. What are you doing, Chip?
Case Fagan.
I can't believe none of these guys have pointed out that in college at Oklahoma, Sam Bradford ran a spread, hurry-up offense. And what GM in the NFL cares more about college success than Chip Kelly? So he looks all the way back at Sam Bradford and his numbers at Oklahoma, and he says, all right, this is a guy who can run my offense a way maybe Nick Foles can't run it. So to him, Sam Bradford is not the guy he was at the Rams. He's the guy he was at Oklahoma, and he thinks he can make him that guy again.
Is that wise thinking, Kate, in your estimation?
Well, yeah, I think because of the system that he has and the faith he has in the system, he has yet to have a QB in that system who has run it and run it efficiently. So absolutely Chip Kelly's going to give this guy a shot.
So you believe they're fully committed to Bradford and Mariota is off the table, right, Kate?
No, I think Mariota's off the table if he has to mortgage the future for him. Now, if that draft comes and they see an opening and he starts slipping, I do think Chip Kelly could possibly finish for Mariota still.
Sam Bradford is 27 years old, a former overall #1 draft pick. He's suffered through injuries. You cannot say he's not going to be great. You don't know that. We don't know what Chip's thinking right now, but I'm just saying you have to admire the fact that he's going all in on what he's thinking.
Kate and Bill, Sam Bradford ran that offense in 2010. That was 31 missed NFL games ago. That was 5 years of seeing that Sam Bradford is okay at this level, but not great.
Okay. And he was at OU, and maybe Kelly thought the OU stood for Oregon, because everybody else in this team went to Oregon. Okay, so now Bomani, it's Sanchez, and it's not Mariota. That's what we're saying here. It's going to be Bradford full-time for the Eagles?
I think it'll be, and you'll have the two quarterbacks with the worst yards per attempt since 2010 as the NFL starting quarterbacks. Those two guys.
Okay. That's not a vertical offense.
Mm-hmm. You know, Kalishaw, you called him Sanchez. It was a very nice Matador's flourish when you delivered his name there. I kind of like that. Eagles was about this helps how. Jimmy Graham and the Seahawks about this helps how much. Mike Freeman, Bleacher Report, put it all out there immediately with Graham. Seahawks now have what it takes to go undefeated. Kate, how much does this help the Seattle Seahawks?
Oh, this helps a lot. I mean, they now have two guys, Lynch and Graham, who combined for 102 TDs since 2011. So that's huge, and they complement each other, right? I mean, defenses have to play the line of scrimmage because of Marshawn Lynch, and that's going to leave Graham on the outside, sometimes with one-on-one coverage. Russell Wilson now has a #1 receiver, and he has never had that before. This guy can go long, and he can take a hit across the middle. This is huge for Seattle.
Mike Freeman thinks they can go undefeated. Bomani Jones, that you say what?
That seems kind of difficult for me to wrap my head around. I mean, Jimmy Graham can be like a wide receiver, but he's not a wide receiver, and the Seahawks still don't have one of those last time I checked. It does help having Jimmy Graham, though. I have questions to ask, though, about exactly how they're going to use him, because the one weakness we know that Jimmy Graham has is that he's not a very good blocker. If you got Marshawn Lynch on your team, presumably you plan to run the ball a lot. So let's see how that winds up working. They're better for having him. I think it's good for them to have him. They were probably going to lose Unger anyway as a salary cap casualty, but I don't think this quite makes them undefeated. But in a world where the Patriots don't have Darrelle Revis, they still might be the best team going into next season.
I think it's a little crazy to talk about undefeated, especially with a team that's gone to 2 Super Bowls in a row. It's hard to sustain that level of play year after year. Now, I think it keeps them as the clear favorite in the NFC, ahead of Green Bay and ahead of Dallas. I think that, you know, it does give Russell Wilson a viable weapon, and he has not really had one of those. As Bomani said, he still doesn't have any at wide receiver, guys who really change the game or scare anybody, and I think that's still a limitation.
You know, the Seahawks wide receivers are all at home right now writing down the name of Tim Kalishaw and Bomani Jones for questioning their ability. Flashkey, where do you come down on this?
Well, I think back to the last Super Bowl, terrible play call by Pete Carroll. However, Wilson threw the ball to Ricardo Lockett. He'd throw the ball to Jimmy Graham if he had him, don't you think? In that Super Bowl, he did not target a tight end once for the first time in his career. So the last time the Seahawks were on the field, they had given up on the tight ends. Jimmy Graham, you say he's not a wide receiver. He plays like a wide receiver. His stats are better, in fact, than any wide receiver under Russell Wilson combined. So this is huge. I don't know why they can't go unbeaten. I mean, the way that locker room is, as strong as they are, as much belief as they have, if you think they should have won 2 Super Bowls in a row anyway, Graham puts them over the top to me.
From New Orleans' perspective, they just signed Graham to a record-setting deal last year. What's this about for them, Kate?
Well, I mean, they get Max Unger, who was injured last year, but he's a fabulous offensive lineman, so that helps shore up that. They also get a draft pick here, so I see them being able in that first round to pick up a quality tight end that they can start grooming to fill that space.
Bomani, do you question trading away a guy you just signed 8 months earlier?
Well, except they've been kicking that salary cap can down the road for as long as they possibly can. But now they've got an aging quarterback, and the guys he used to throw to that were really good, some of them aren't there, and some of them aren't that good anymore.
And Kalishaw.
Saints are a mess. They've spent 2 years getting rid of players so they could afford Breeze and Graham, who were going to cost $38 million this year. Now they just got Breeze.
That's Flash.
Yeah, big sacrifice for the Saints, but you know what? They got to sacrifice because they got to start to reshape this team.
All right, Flashkey 9, Kalishaw 12, Jones 13, Fagan 9. We've been home. We're taking a break. Flyers still next. Coming up, no man is an island. You can never go home, and all those other things you old people say, disproven by Darrelle Revis. And also, J-Miz and the Commish. Which sounds like an 80s drama on CBS, starring Mario Van Peebles and Harvey Keitel. Following 60 Minutes.
You have an undershirt on. Look at that.
And Murder, She Wrote.
By
by yourself.
Nobody does free agency like Darrelle Revis. 2 years ago, $96 million. Last year, $32 million. This year, $70 million. Now, he'll never see at least $100 million of that money. But again, that's because nobody does free agency like Darrelle Revis. Daily News celebrated his return to the Jets like it was a win over the Patriots. Wah, wah. Flasky, is this more about New York or New England?
It was a nice little victory for New York, but it's just more about New England because the Patriots also got rid of, let Brandon Browner walk. They've lost now 1,506 snaps from their two quarterbacks are gone, and those are the two of their best cornerbacks. I think New England in the division that's getting better. I think New England's hurting.
Bill, did you count all those snaps up?
Yes, I did.
That gets a mute actually now. Get a hold of your life. Go ahead, Galisha.
I think it's about the Jets recognizing they made a mistake a year ago when Revis indicated they were his first choice after leaving Tampa, and they didn't really pursue him. They either didn't get the word or didn't know what to do. Look, he's a great player. They paid him a ton of money, but he's one of the few guys who's worth it.
Bo money.
So it's about the Patriots. Revis proved to be for them what Deion Sanders was in that San Francisco-Dallas rivalry, the swing guy that could make you to a Super Bowl champion. Without him, the Patriots are not a Super Bowl team, but the real champion is Darrelle Revis. As my man Opa says, he'll be a Hall of Famer and he'll be a legend at the bank.
Fagan?
Yeah, this is about the Patriots. I agree with Bomani. They don't win the Super Bowl without him. Just look at that final play. A thing we don't talk about. Russell Wilson doesn't even look to the left side of the field because Revis is over there. That's why he forces that pass in there. That's a microcosm for the whole season. He caught off half of the field for them.
Buy or sell two. All the retirements yesterday. We knew about Patrick Willis. Jake Locker could have been competing for QB1 in Tennessee. Jason World could have commanded $8 million a year in free agency. Kalisha, what are you buying from these retirements?
I'm buying that this could be as big a story as anything in free agency. As you said, not just Willis. Jason Worlds is a 27-year-old, really, really good outside linebacker for Pittsburgh, moving into the prime of his career. Jake Locker, he could have made millions year after year. Are these guys reading up on what's happening in the world with concussions in the NFL? They're not saying it, but that could be what's happening.
Bomani.
Yeah, I'm buying that the calculus is changing for NFL players. Worlds is getting out before he had a chance to hit for his big score. Jake Locker says he just doesn't love football enough because he could have got that clipboard money, but he's so talented that somebody would have kept trying to make him play, and that wasn't worth it for him.
Vegas.
I'm buying that this is not an anomaly, that we're going to start seeing this year after year. And the NFL better be worried because youth participation numbers are down, and now players are retiring early. And that whole thing is crunching both sides for the NFL, so they better pay attention to this.
Flasky.
This is what happens when players are armed with the knowledge that the NFL didn't want them to have. This is why the NFL all these years tried to hide the concussions. Players realize now, oh my goodness, this is about CTE. This can affect me the rest of my life. Remember, it's interesting. Willis, the only player since besides Jim Brown to appear in 7 Pro Bowls and not going to play a game after his 29th birthday. That's pretty incredible.
Okay, to be clear though, none of these players are saying it's about concussions, isn't that right? I mean, we haven't really heard that.
Now that's the implication. It's about their health.
You're all of the opinion of that? Okay. Buy or sell three. Peter King with the news that Jameis Winston and Roger Goodell met in New York City last Thursday. Met on Winston's initiation so Goodell could hear the Jameis Winston story from Jameis Winston and not from anyone else, as King writes. What are you buying? What are you selling from that meeting, Bomani?
Well, I'm buying that Winston's camp is still betting on best-case scenario. Before the sexual assault allegations, he was rising as a star in a way where he could have been an absolute phenomenon coming into the league. As you move away from those allegations, I guess that might still be possible, but he needs to ingratiate himself to the NFL above all else to start.
I'm buying this is a really smart move for him. He's off Twitter. He's posting less on Instagram. He's focusing on some interpersonal relationships, building those in the NFL, and then he'll worry about all that other stuff later.
Flashy.
Yeah, I think the optics are really huge here. Very important for both of them. On draft day, you don't want Winston to be the number 1 pick, and everybody say, well, the NFL's not ready for this guy, or he's not ready for the NFL. This is a great step toward that. But again, now the important thing is they can't have any more meetings. Once they start the season, I don't want to see them meeting again.
Kalisha.
I don't think it was entirely necessary, but that's why I think it's a really good move for Jameis Winston and the people around him. I think he has changed the story around him since the end of his season at Florida State. This continues to show we're seeing the old Jameis Winston.
He's a draft pick like every other draft pick. He may not be the best player in the league. He will be one of the 5 or 10 most noteworthy players in the league with everything he does once he becomes a pro. Jones, Shaw, Flashy. Enough to advance Fagan. You're the first to go. What's the last word?
Shout out to head coach Courtney Banghart and her Princeton Tigers women's basketball team. 30-0 heading into the NCAA tournament.
All right. Little shout out to Princeton. Bill, Timmy, well, you're not doing anything. Lightning round next. And coming up,
You're up.
can you say we got to stop screwing around while wearing that? Around the horn investigation. Next. Jones 21, Kalishaw 19, Plashke 18. Select. Christian Laettner telling Dan Patrick he thinks Duke maybe gets the calls from the referees, but that this whole obsession with embellishing charges didn't start until after he left. Hey, Plashke, you buy?
You know, I'm buying the fact that Christian Laettner came out and said this. This is why that documentary on him is going to be called I Hate Christian Laettner. So everybody hates Christian Laettner because he tells the truth. Absolutely. They've been doing that. They've been embellishing that down there for years and years. He finally admits it.
Shaw?
I'm going to buy what he said because you got to remember they really weren't successful. They didn't win that first title under Coach K until Laettner's years. Now after that, the 20 years that have gone beyond that, they seem like they win all the time, so they get all the calls.
You guys are both dodging the question. Does Duke get the calls, Bomani Jones?
Well, yeah, they get the calls. When North Carolina plays, they get the calls. When Kansas plays, they get the calls. Big-time schools tend to get the calls. But Laettner said that this thing with the flopping really picked up after he left, and I think he's correct. When you think of those Duke floppers, like the famous ones, Wojciechowski, Battier, Paulus, those guys, those are all after that 91-92 team.
Why does Duke get it more than everybody else, though? I mean, why do people put pressure on it?
Because nobody plays into it like Duke does. Nobody does these things to get the referees to do it. Look at Tyus Jones. Looks like he gets shot every time somebody slaps the ball from him. They've been doing that for 25 years.
All right, Lightning 2, Amari, saying he didn't join the Mavs to be 4.5 games away from being out of the playoffs. And he said it while appearing on the Sgt. Pepper's album cover. He also said that they can't keep cheating the game and screwing around in practice. If a man who just spent the last couple of years playing for the Knicks says that, what does it mean, Kalishaw? And can you say that while wearing that?
Well, that outfit's been going out and out of style, but it's guaranteed to raise a smile. But I will say this, the way he's playing, I'm going to listen to what he said, because the way he's playing, parentheses, better than Dirk, close parentheses, you have to start paying attention to what Stoudemire is saying.
Bomani Jones?
And remember, when Stoudemire first got to the Knicks before it went all bad, he was praised for his leadership, and they need somebody on Dallas to say those sorts of things. But you can't say that wearing that hat. You can't say that wearing those shades. You can't say that wearing those shirts. And you damn sure can't do it wearing them all at the same time.
Plashke?
Oh, Bomani, I totally disagree. In the NBA, that's just known as a Tuesday night when he's dressed like that. That's the way a lot of guys dress during the post game. No, and I think I love the fact that it seemed like somebody like Dirk probably told him, hey, can you talk to this Rondo kid for us? Because we're afraid to do it. He's clearly meant for Rajon Rondo. That's what this is all about.
All right, Plashke, I'm sure you really don't mean to go, but the time has come.
I'm going to Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. Wait, no.
I don't care about the Pac-12. What was that maneuver you did before you said that?
He's doing some
Don't believe me, just ask. Watch. How's that song go?
Straight ahead. Kalishaw Jones with this glimpse, this defense, and this prehistoric gator. It's another ATH investigation. And there were two. Kalishaw Jones, 3 quick ones, then 30 seconds of FaceTime. Good luck to you both. Showdown 1, Andrea Bargnani. The G is silent, and so is the D. ATH investigation. Where does this rank on the Knicks' crimes against humanity-o-meter, Kalishaw?
Oh, I feel like the Knicks have been through a lot worse. And if you look at Bargnani with those knee pads, he looks like a 1963 player. That would have been a charge in 1963. You couldn't
First
do
of all,
that.
you almost said that was Bomani, and that's an insult to the defense that I happen to play. That dude was out there looking like MC Hammer doing the typewriter back and forth. There's no condoning that.
An unfortunate turn of events for Tim Kalishaw. Showdown 2, Martin Brodeur, Blues advisor Martin Brodeur, appearing to be looking in the direction of a television that's got the Devils game on in the background, while his Blues were playing in front of him. ATH investigation, Bomani. What's happening here?
Look, those aren't his Blues. Those are his Devils. The Blues, he's just collecting a check from them. He was looking at his real love while peeking in on the mistress that, just kind of comes through.
That's no big deal. One guy looks this way, Brodeur looks that way, says, what do you want from me? He knows the Blues are fine.
Okay.
They're going to finish second seed in the West.
You know what?
Checking in
Let's
on the
make
Devils.
this interesting.
Yeah.
We'll get you to even par. Showdown 3. This photo of this alligator at this golf course, Englewood in Florida, which says they play up the appeal of gator sightings and that they've seen bigger ones than this one. ACH investigation, Timmy. Will it lead to a bump or hurt the golf course business?
Let me say this. Alligators are overrated as a golf course visitor.
Okay.
Snakes in Texas, much scarier. You don't see the snakes. That's why you go into the woods looking for your ball with a 3-iron in hand. Alligators, you know when it's time to run.
No. That's definitely an attraction with an alligator, and it's not at all unsafe because in the states in this country where you have alligators, don't worry, if that alligator gets out of hand, somebody got some heavy metal to go ahead and lay that thing down before anything happens.
Monty Jones went into the showdown with a 3-iron in his hand. Point game FaceTime, Jones.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you heard, but yesterday was Robin Thicke's birthday. You might not have known it was his birthday because all the news about him was so terrible. He went out there and lost a lawsuit that was going to hit for about $7 million, and now we all wonder if everybody can get sued for their music just because if your song sounds like one that was made before, somebody might sue you. The moral of the story here is that's what that dude gets for that crazy album where he's out here embarrassing his wife in public when she didn't do anything to deserve that. You embarrass a woman in public, guess what? You're going to lose crippling lawsuits and endanger the whole record industry. Thanks for nothing, Robin Thicke.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, yes, of course. All right, thank you. Well, that's going to do it, folks. Thanks for coming around. Dev Patel, you look like Serpico. I love it. On a 23-and-a-half-hour break. We'll see you tomorrow.
I took a 3-iron to a gunfight.
Baseball season is here at last, and the excitement continues all season long at DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Why wait until the end of the season to claim victory when you can win huge cash every day? Hurry to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code AROUND to play for free. You could win part of the $300 million in prizes being awarded this season. Enter AROUND for free entry now at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
ESPN Radio, bringing you directly to the biggest events in sports.
Center field, well hit, Hunter back, out of here!
From opening day of baseball,
Throw to the plate, safe at the plate!
right through the World Series.
For the third time in 5 seasons, the San Francisco Giants are the champions of the baseball world.
Whether it's LeBron, Chris Paul, or Kevin Durant, when the NBA tips off, ESPN Radio is right there when a champion is crowned.
We have a new world champion. The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
And when the magic of bowl season arrives, ESPN Radio is your home for the new college football playoff.
The college football playoff first national champion, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
The biggest events in sports can be found right here on ESPN Radio.